They say nothing good happens after midnight, especially out in the empty stretches of West Virginia. I learned that the hard way. I was on a cross-country drive, pushing through the night to make up for lost time. It was well past 2 in the morning. The fog was so thick it felt like I was driving through a cloud, and my gaslight had been on for what felt like an eternity. Every station I'd passed for the last hour had been dark, swallowed by the night. Just as real panic started to set in, I saw a faint, flickering glow up ahead. A gas station. It was old, the kind you see in movies with vintage pumps and a faded sign that just said, gas. The sign claimed it was the last open station for 40 miles. It looked almost abandoned, like a relic from another decade. But the lights were on, casting a sickly yellow haze into the fog. I pulled in, the only car there. The air was heavy with the buzz of the fluorescent lights and the distant chirp of crickets. It was an eerie silence, the kind that makes the hair on your arm stand up. I got out, the gravel crunching under my boots, and headed inside to pay. A little bell chimed as I pushed the door open, but the sound echoed for way too long, stretching out in a way that felt unnatural. Behind the counter stood a man. I couldn't see his face clearly. It was lost in the shadows, cast by the weak overhead light, but I could feel his eyes on me. I said hello, asked to pay for pump 3. He didn't say a word back. He just stared at me, a slow, wide smile spreading across his face. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was chilling, predatory. A shiver ran down my spine. Something felt deeply, terribly wrong. I handed him my card, and his fingers brushed against mine as he took it. They were cold, unnaturally so. He ran the card and handed it back, his gaze never leaving my face, that awful smile still plastered on. I needed to use the restroom, so I asked for the key. He just nodded toward a door at the back of the store. The hallway was dark, and the door at the end looked ancient. Inside the bathroom, the air was cold and damp. The mirror above the sink was cracked, and a dark, reddish-brown liquid was dripping slowly from the faucet. It looked too thick to be water. My heart started to pound. Then I saw it. Scratching to the grimy surface of the mirror, almost hidden in the cracks, were 2 words, "Don't stay." My breath caught in my throat. It was a desperate, frantic scrawl. I backed out of the bathroom, my mind racing. That's when my eyes landed on a corkboard next to the door. It was covered in yellowed flyers and old business cards. But one piece of paper stood out, a missing persons poster. The photo was grainy, but the face was unmistakable. The wide eyes, the high cheekbones, and that same haunting smile. It was the man behind the counter. My blood ran cold as I read the text beneath the photo. Missing. Last seen at this location. My stomach dropped. The date on the poster was from over 30 years ago. I slowly turned my head back toward the counter. The clerk was still standing there, his smile even wider now, as if he knew that I knew. He started to slowly move from behind the counter. That's when I ran. I burst through the front door, the bell shrieking behind me. I fumbled for my car keys, my hand shaking so badly I could barely get the door open. As I jumped inside and slammed the lock, all the lights at the gas station went out at once, plunging the entire place into absolute darkness. And through the sudden, deafening silence, I heard it. The crunch of footsteps on gravel, coming fast, right behind me. I didn't wait. I turned the key, the engine roaring to life, and floored it. I didn't look back, just stared into the headlights, cutting through the fog, my heart hammering against my ribs. I drove for what felt like hours until the sun came up, never stopping. When I finally got to the next town, I went straight to the police station, a rambling, terrified mess. I told them everything, the station, the clerk, the poster. The officer listened patiently, then gave me a look I'll never forget. It was pity. He told me it was impossible. He said that gas station, the one I described, had burned to the ground in 1987, a fire that was never explained. And they found what was left of 7 people inside. No one ever knew who they were or what happened. They never found the clerk. I still drive that route sometimes, and I always look for that flickering light in the fog. But I've never seen it again. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder, If I hadn't seen that warning in the mirror, would my face be on a poster on that wall too? Thanks for watching. If you want more stories that will keep you up at night, make sure to subscribe.